Strong thunderstorms on the move again across parts of central and eastern Kentucky. We'll put a track on them straight ahead.
As a federal fraud investigation continues into an eastern Kentucky attorney, hundreds of people who depended on disability payments are in limbo after those benefits were suspended.
A Montgomery County man is charged with threatening to commit murder and robbery at a local bank.
Tracking, alerting, protecting. WKYT News starts now with First Alert Weather.
Good afternoon. Sam Dick and Jennifer Palumbo reporting. Showers and storms are making their way into the area.
And some of those could be severe. Let's go right to Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey on this First Alert Severe Weather Day. Chris?
Guys, watching that line of strong thunderstorms right on top of downtown Lexington now. This is the leading edge of those thunderstorms. That's what's known as a shelf cloud. It's fairly harmless in nature. But once it gets over top of you, you're going to really notice the skies opening up, the heavy rain starts, and then the winds get even stronger right underneath the leading edge of that. That is right on top of downtown Lexington. Notice how we see the lighter color here. That's because it's heavy rain that's coming in underneath that to our west. This is what it looks like up in Georgetown right now from one of our WKYT weather watchers. This is a car windshield. We're looking out, and you can barely see the car tail lights in front of us because of the heavy rains. That's what folks are going to be seeing with the storm that is now on top of the Lexington Metro. That extends back toward the southwest. Not really producing anything truly severe, but it's a big-time rain and noisemaker across the region. Heaviest rains on the northeast side of town now between Georgetown and Paris, right along 460. That's another ugly commute out there this evening. Across Masterson Station over toward the northern split, Kentucky Horse Park area, northern Fayette County, some heavy downpours. West side of town, look at all the heavy rain here around the Commonwealth Stadium area, over toward parts of Alumni Drive, Lafayette High School, back toward the southwest, Stonewall Estates, Fayette Mall area, getting absolutely hammered. You maybe can hear the rain on top of the roof right now in Lexington. That's because of that little shower that's popped up ahead of our line that is to the west. That's on top of Hamburg Pavilion. That extends farther south and southwest that we go. And again, some heavy downpours, a good likelihood as this whole mess, guys, rolls its way toward the east and northeast. Only damage reports from these storms about an hour and a half ago around the Louisville area. Knocked a few trees down. We'll see if those storms pulse back up into strong or severe mode as we go through the next few hours.
Thank you, Chris. Hundreds of Kentuckians are finding out their disability payments have been suspended.
Clients of Floyd County Attorney Eric Kahn are receiving suspension letters from the Social Security Administration as part of a fallout from a 2013 Senate investigation. Our Mark Barber has reaction from a man who claims to be one of those victims. It's our top story at 4:30.
A U.S. Army veteran living here in Richmond says he is one of the hundreds of people who have had their disability benefits suspended. He tells me he hired Eric Kahn, the first attorney he thought of, because he saw his commercials on TV. Russell Gibson says after he served 14 years in the military, he was medically discharged because of an injury to his ankle. He says he came home to eastern Kentucky and started working in the coal mines. After 5 years, Gibson tells us he saw a doctor in Hazard who told him he had serious health issues with his ankle, eyes, and heart. He says when he was told he couldn't lift over 20 pounds, he applied for disability benefits. According to Gibson, 7 months after he hired Kahn, he started receiving disability payments. Those benefits have now been cut off by the Social Security Administration. It's part of the fallout from a federal investigation into fraud allegations. Kahn is accused in a congressional report of scheming with a judge to approve more than 1,500 disability cases from 2006 to 2010. He has not been charged yet. Gibson says he's scrambling to figure out how he will provide for his wife and 2 children. He says he wants to hold Kahn responsible, so he's planning to file a lawsuit.
He took like $4,000 on my Social Security the first time. My thing, I think he owed me that back to me now.
Gibson says he's having a hard time finding an attorney who will take the case. He says the lawyers are telling him they don't want to go after another attorney. In Richmond, Mark Barber, WKYT.
The Floyd County Bar Association says they will try to figure out how to handle the suspension of these disability benefits during an emergency meeting that starts in about an hour at 5 o'clock. Montgomery County man is in jail accused of threatening to kill someone. Deputies arrested 18-year-old Austin Russell Saturday in Franklin County.
The sheriff's office says Russell made a threatening post on Facebook saying he was going to rob a bank in Montgomery County and he was going to kill somebody. Victor Puente has details.
The Montgomery County Sheriff tells me they don't know if Austin Russell was serious with any of those threats, but he says it's a chance his department couldn't afford to take. Detectives tell me Russell put a post on his Facebook page Thursday night saying he was going to rob the traditional bank in Mount Sterling and was prepared to go to prison for 20 years for murder. They say the post asked if anyone wanted to join him, but said he was willing to do it alone. Russell is from Mount Sterling, but was in Frankfort Friday when Franklin County Sheriff's deputies arrested him. He's since been brought to Montgomery County. The sheriff tells me they don't know if Russell had any intention carrying that plan out, but they notified the bank and increased patrols Friday morning.
I mean, you can't just day and time threaten to rob any business or anyone and, you know, commit murder and not to expect to knock on your door. Yeah, and that's what we did. We took it serious.
Russell is charged with solicitation of murder and robbery. The sheriff tells me those charges could change as this case makes its way through the courts. In Montgomery County, Victor Puente, WKYT.
Criminal solicitation of murder is a Class B felony. An unusual crime could cost taxpayers thousands of dollars. Someone is stripping bark off trees in Knott County and selling it for its pharmaceutical value.
And transportation officials discovered more than a dozen elm trees that had been stripped of their bark along Route 550 in the Jones Fork community. Tanner Hesterberg checks out the damage.
Drivers on Route 550 in the eastern part of Knott County may notice some trees. 18 of them at last check are missing most of their bark, creating problems for maintenance superintendent Bobby Smith, whose crew is already behind schedule because of the harsh winter.
We're working hard as we can trying to catch up from it and letting on having to deal with instances like this.
Now, stripping the bark off these trees not only affects their health, it also hits you and me in the pocketbook. If these trees die and need to be cut down, transportation officials estimate that could cost as much as $4,000 in taxpayer money.
This $4,000, you know, it could have been put to better use in other parts of the county, and it's just pretty much a waste of taxpayers' money altogether.
Shelley Ambergy lives in Jones Fork near the stripped trees and says they are an eyesore.
Just looks unsightly for time being, and I just rather myself as a citizen, I just rather that they wouldn't do it.
Kentucky State Police are trying to figure out who is responsible.
And we checked with the Kentucky Division of Forestry. They say someone could face charges of destroying state property and theft of state property. Police are still trying to figure out the circumstances behind an overnight shooting in Lexington. It happened just before 2 o'clock this morning on 12th Street. Police found a trail of blood outside a building and an extremely uncooperative victim. He was taken to UK hospital with non-life-threatening injuries.
No other candidates have requested a review of Kentucky's primary election results. Yesterday was the last day candidates could ask the Secretary of State to review voting machines and absentee ballots in all of Kentucky's 120 counties. A competitive Republican primary yielded 2 such challenges, one for governor, the other for agriculture commissioner. Matt Bevin leads James Comer by 83 votes in a race for the Republican nomination for governor that was too close to call on election night. Comer has not conceded and asked for a recanvass, which is scheduled to begin tomorrow morning.
Republican presidential candidate and Kentucky U.S. Senator Rand Paul has released a new book, and his thoughts on the Republican brand, quote, he says, "It sucks and it's broken." In his new book, he says the Republican brand is broken. He thinks the party's image scares away minority voters who would otherwise vote Republican. At his book signing event yesterday in New York, he also drew some laughs from the crowd when he took jabs at NSA leaker Edward Snowden and the Director of National Intelligence, James Clapper.
Is Snowden a hero or a villain? What should we do with people who break our country's secrets? I think he's committed civil disobedience, and he thought that there was a higher purpose, but there has to be punishment. So what I've proposed as punishment, Snowden and Clapper should be in the same cell talking about liberty and security.
Senator Paul spoke on the Senate floor last week for 10.5 hours straight to try to stop legislation that would extend the power of the NSA.
Showers and thunderstorms continue to work their way across parts of the Bluegrass region. As of now, we're tracking them to see if we get any isolated severe weather. We'll be back and put a track on every storm that's out there in just a moment.